We are poor little lambs who have lost our way. Ba, ba, ba.
Hello everyone, welcome to Moffett Field. Getting ready for a game tomorrow, so I thought I would show you my 1940 game board and my 1942 spring game board. So here it is laid out. You can see it's pretty big. There's the fireplace behind it. So it's a good, there's two sections in here, and Alpha Graphics in Sunnyvale actually made this case for me too, which was pretty cool. But I'll unwrap it, put it on the table, and show you guys what it looks like once it's set up. Okay, here it is laid out in the two sections. Each section is about 40 inches wide and 36 inches high, and it's metal, so it's cold rolled steel, and then they print it and then mount it to these what is that, kind of a poster board, and then it slides together. Let me try and get it matched up there. Anyway, that's close enough. So that's the Global 1940. So here's a view of the spring 1942 board on top of the Global 1940. And there's still some Russian and American pieces on the board. The battle didn't go well. The Germans didn't even sink the British fleet, so it was intact. And the Japanese didn't do so well in China, so we pretty much called it a game after about turn 3. Once the Americans entered, there was no hope. But this 1942 board, it's also printed on cold rolled steel. Probably could have been printed on one piece, knowing now that it's almost the same size as half of the global board. Same concept though, it's seamed up the middle on poster board, and then on this one I put magnets in to hold the two pieces together. But just for reference, you can see the two different boards. All right, the board is set up and ready to go. Take you on a little tour of what's here. Here's the hit dice that I made. Drilled them with the Dremel drill and painted the dots. Got the inspiration from Sire Blood. Convoy dice. The Americans are set up. One thing I just got that I think will come in handy are these IPC chips from I'll Never Grow Up. One thing I wish this board had, however, was the starting IPC indicators, like the 1942 spring board has. I'll probably make some stickers and stick them on. I have it memorized by now, but sometimes it's when you're counting up, it's good to know where everybody started. You can see the seam between the two boards here, where the two metal boards join. Like I said, I'll probably put some magnets in here to keep them together. It doesn't really move that much, but if someone hits the board, it might cause a tectonic shift and move the plates. So there's my Indians set up in India. And every one of these units have magnets in them. I just made some new Italians, and I got those from I'll Never Grow Up as well. I painted them with more of a gray uniform. And I use this GHQ German mechanized for the Italian mechanized. There's only one, I guess, starting. We found that it takes exactly a half hour to set up everything with two of us. And we use this sheet to set up. This is probably the best sheet that we found I forget who makes it, but I think you can find it on accessanallies.org. There's a couple errors, but nothing major, easy to fix. But this is kind of the go-to for us to set up the board. Another handy player aid is this bonus income chart. If you don't use this, I'd highly recommend it. It's easy to read, it's well put together. Use this every turn. And it has everybody's bonus income so you can see in one view here. Everyone's. The back is, don't use the back, but occasionally reference it for the starting income. And I guess if you want to know the victory cities, it's here as well, but just a really handy, what is that on, 17 by 11? I made this for spring 1942, and I will update it for global, and if I ever get into the 1936, I could see having one of these pyramids for every player for their pieces, but has the attack values, movement, defend, and cost. Because I got tired of referencing stuff and I just wanted to have one quick view. So came up with this. For beginners, it's pretty good. I know most of this by now, but it sits on the board and is easy to see. All right, I think that covers it, covers my board. If you have any questions or should you want a metal board, I can refer you to Alpha Graphics in Sunnyvale, California. They've done 2 boards for me now, and it's been more of an art than a science. They had to figure out how to print well on the metal because often this cold rolled steel becomes bent and stuff. So they printed it probably 4 times because a couple times it didn't come out right, and they'd flip the board and print it again. But now they have it down pretty well, and it comes out pretty flawless. And the magnets and the pieces just make life easier because when people hit them, they don't slide around as much. Pieces don't fall over. I know people have trouble with the subs, but I can pretty much throw this sub and it'll land face up like it should. It doesn't fall over. Well, it will if you force it, but 9 times out of 10 it'll land up. And I just got these Anzac decals too as well from Combat Miniatures. So it's nice to have those because people get those confused with the British. So it's good to finally get those water slide decals. So that's it. That's my game board setup for the next round of play. And again, leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.